Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. In this video, I'll be showing you the upcoming characters of Counterside that you should look out for in this game, with the helping hand of course, the roadmap. For the upcoming June that is being shown to you right now, we're getting 2 new characters along with a new awakened character for us to summon and try to collect. Let's go over them, shall we? The first person we're going to be looking at is Adele Maintener. She is a SSR that you can pull from the normal blue tickets that the games reward you or gifted you, basically anytime you need. Okay, so now let's begin with her abilities. So for her basic attack, she is a summoner, so she summons a ally to help deal damage for her, and it scales pretty nicely in general. So for her passive, which is called the Call of the Unknown, she summons a mysterious being and inflicts 40% more damage on corrupted objects and soldiers. All her attack debuff target for 12 seconds and debuff target summon up to 5 creatures in their place upon death. In each level, it increased the damage to soldier and corrupted objects, and at level 5, her summoning's damage taken is subtracted by 40% from soldiers and corrupted objects. Her special, Black Lotus, summons a massive gaping mouth, inflicting AoE damage on and around the farthest target within range. Also cancel barriers around enemies to inflict damage. And at level 5, her cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds, making it 30 seconds. So for her ultimate skill called the Unspeakable One, it releases inner beings, inflicting AoE damage on enemies in front. The enemy loses 30% of hit for 12 seconds. At level 5, it debuff also decrease enemy evasion by 30%, which is pretty good. Now that you know her equipment, the question is it worth to pull? I think yes and no. Yes, because she can be good in some scenarios, such as an enemy soldier, but overall, no, she isn't worth to pull considering the next character is coming up very soon, which is tomorrow, and that is Sigma. Later on in this video, we'll go over her kit and explain why. But if you are collection purposes, go for her and just get 1 copy. That's it. The next person we're going to be looking at is a character named Sigma that is being shown to you right now. Sorry for the picture that looks kind of off because I couldn't find a better picture, but since Sigma is a tower unit, she activates the terrain self-defense system, condensing energy from her surrounding and fires it, inflicting AoE damage against her enemies. So as for Sigma passive skill called Sigma Protocol, she manipulates her troop characteristics so as to make up for their weaknesses. Increase roll disadvantage damage resistant by 30% for all allies. But she cannot put it on herself and she cannot be healed. At level 5, her roll advantage damage plus 60% added to buff. Deployment resources plus 1 upon her death. As for Sigma's special skill called Square Dance, she restored deployment resources quickly, restoring 1 deployment resources. This skill consumed 15% of her HP when used, but at level 5, she generates a barrier equal to 20% of max HP for 10 seconds for up to 3 skill uses. As for Sigma ultimate skill, she uses a beeper from her father and summons her Machine God Dad, a nanny robot that can't be healed when deployed. Machine God Dad inflict AoE damage, forcing the enemies to attack it for 3 seconds and decrease approaching enemies' attack by 10%. At level 5, the enemy attack is 20% instead. Deployment resources also gain 1 point when used. Now that we are done with her abilities, now here comes the question. Is she worth to summon? Is she not? Is she really just there to brighten the game? And the answer is And that answer is yes. She is very worth to summon, and she might be the must summon unit in June of 2022. Now that we got all the 2 summonable characters that's coming out for June 2022 with the blue tickets, that is free to play, we can start talking about the brand new Awaken character that's coming out for June. And that brand new Awaken unit is Yumina, being shown to you right now on screen. Let's go check her ability, shall we? So for her basic attack, there's nothing different about it than anything else except for just basic AoE in the front. As for her passive skill, when deployed, charges forward and inflict AoE damage, and then additionally attack target in a 6-meter radius. After every 3rd basic attack, she delivers an enhanced attack in Gauntlet, which inflict additional damage by 50% of current HP on non-ship target within valid hits. And every level up until level 5, she gained attack speed, and at level 5 she gained perfect evasion and attack speed of 30% for 4 seconds after deployment. Same effect after passive cast, so it stacks with her passive. Now as for her special skill, Sword Blaster, she charges at a target and swings her sword, inflicting AoE damage on surrounding enemies. She then fires a blaster upwards, inflicting additional AoE damage. The skill of the target damaged by the last attack sealed for 6 seconds, bosses excluded. Now as for level 5, the cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds, and the special skill attacks also count in passive counting as well. And lastly, her ultimate skill, Wolfsbane Legacy, maximize Wolfsbane power and inflict AoE damage in the front. Also cause hit stun to target that are casting their special skill when hit. And each level increases the damage by a certain amount, and at level 5, the passive decrease ultimate skill cooldown for 3 seconds. That's incredible. Now that we are done going over her abilities, let's go with the best answer or question: is she worth to summon? Because after all, she is a time-limited character and you need special currency to summon for her. And my answer is, it depends, really. Because she is overall really good, but I was told that in my Discord, she will get replaced later on in the harder content. So if you like her, you should definitely go for her because she is a very solid character. But overall, I don't think you need to summon for her. I mean, there's a free single every day, so you just have to be lucky, I guess. So for the last character you can get in June is it's not a pay-to-win character, it's more like a pay-to-collect character, which is in the counter pass. Her name is Reina Mccready. So for her basic attack, it's nothing different, it's just the same, with her inflicting AoE damage on her enemies, and it's just the same increased damage by level up. As for her passive, Prisoner of the Ice, every time she loses 25% of her HP, inflict AoE damage on surrounding enemies. This skill decrease the enemy healing amounts and attack speed by 20% for 5 seconds, and these values are doubled for mechs. And at level 5, damage taken is reduced by 30% for 5 seconds after passive is activated, twice less damage from enemies' mechs. For her special skill, she summons an ice wall, inflicting AoE damage on enemies in front and stunning mechs for 4 seconds. This summoned ice can't be healed and periodically force 2 surrounding enemies to attack it for 5 seconds. And at level 5, the ice instantly create a barrier equal to 10% of max HP around surrounding allies. Now lastly, her ultimate skill summons an Ice Thorn from the Abyss, inflicting AoE damage on surrounding enemies. The enemy loses 15% of attack and attack speed for 14 seconds, and these values are doubled for mechs. And at level 5, it reduced the cooldown by 8 seconds. Now that we are done with her abilities, now then, let's answer the question. Is she a must-get unit? The answer is, for me, not really, unless you are willing to spend money to collect her. Because she is a decent unit for any mech enemies, but she's not a must-get unit. Well, that's it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe if you do enjoy this video, and I hope to see you once again in the future. Peace.